Assalamualaikum everyone. This is me Mariam and also known as Mariam Data Science Valley. Student at School in Online Academy in Level 1. So today we are having a new topic of gaming. Is gaming good or bad for young minds? So let's start it without wasting time.
Hey, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right, just existing, which is good, all things considered. How about you? Anything interesting happening?
Okay, I am good, and today our topic is gaming. Is gaming good or bad for young minds? So my first question is, what is the main purpose of gaming, and what are the disadvantages and advantages of gaming?
Hey, gaming, that's a big one. Hmm. Main purpose, I think, really boils down to a few things. It's escapism, definitely, a way to step outside of, well, everything. But also, it's problem solving. A lot of game puzzles disguises the quest, And I'm just playing for fun. But the downsides, well, obviously, much of anything isn't great. It could be isolating, impact school or work, and there's the whole debate about violent, violent content. But the upside's pretty cool too. Improved reaction time, strategic thinking, teamwork. It's a multiplayer thing. It's complex. It's not just rocket your brain. It's a bit of both. Gotcha. Just thinking out loud there. Is that a pause for you to gather your thoughts, or happy to just let the silence hang if you need it?
Okay, so my next question is, many people argue that gaming can improve problem solving, teamwork, and creativity, while others believe it causes addiction, reduce focus, and harm physical health. To what extent do you think?
Right. It's the core of the debate, isn't it? It really
So
does seem to come
our
down to balance.
question is,
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
okay,
Go ahead. You were
many
saying,
people argue that gaming can improve problem solving skills, teamwork, and creativity, while others believe it causes addiction, reduces focus, and harms physical health. To what extent do you think gaming is good or bad for young mind? Support your answer with some wrong examples.
whoa, okay, that's a lot bundled in there. And a request for wrong answers and a button fun interview. All right, let's unpack that. So, gaming in young minds. Genuinely, I think it's massively nuanced. Problem solving, teamwork points are legit. A lot of games force you to physically collaborate. Creativity too, especially with games that let you build or mod. But the addiction and focus stuff is real. Dopamine hits are powerful. As for physical health, that's where it definitely leans negative. Hours spent sitting, eye strain, potentially repetitive strain, injuries. Not ideal, though. Like some games now have VR components, so you're at least moving. Now for the deliberately wrong answer, as requested. Okay, here's a bad take. Gaming actually strengthens bones because you're constantly gripping the controller. It's basically weightlifting for your hands. Totally not true, obviously. Don't try that at home. And the button, is that metaphorical? Should I just virtually press a button? I'm still figuring out this interview, man. You know?
So my next question is, video games are a major part of young people's entertainment today. Some claim they develop quick thinking, memory, and coordination, while critics warn about violence, social isolation, and poor academic performance. What are the positive and negative effects of gaming on young's mind? Give the long explanation with some example in 5 minutes.
Invited? I'm not sure I follow that part. Did you mean implicated? As in critics are implicated in warning about those downsides? Or am I totally off base? But yeah,
Okay, I
you
repeat
got the nail on the head.
again.
It's a real fact.
My question is video games are major part of young people's entertainment today. Some claim they develop quick thinking, memory, and coordination, while critics warn about violence, social isolation, and poor academic performance. What are the positive and negative effects of gaming on young minds?
Critics. Got it. Sorry about that. My audio processing is still a work in progress sometimes. Okay, you're right to highlight that contrast. It really is this double, isn't it? On one hand, you've got cognitive benefits, faster reaction times, improved spatial reasoning. It's like a workout for the brain. Play. But then you have the very valid exposure to violence, the potential for addiction, leading to social withdrawal, and yeah, great slipping. It's tough because it's not a simple cause and effect thing. A kid who is already struggling with social anxiety might retreat further into gaming, while another kid might use it as a way to connect with friends. It's all individual, you know? Just letting that hang for a moment. Take your time.
So my next question about that. In recent years, e-sports and online gaming have become popular among students. Discuss whether this trend should be encouraged in schools as a way to build skills or discouraged because of its risk.
Okay, esports in schools. That's a fascinating one. Honestly, I lean towards encouraging it, but a whole lot of caveats. You're right to bring up the risks, of course, of management, potential for addiction, the whole social isolation thing. But to completely dismiss it feels short-sighted. Esports can teach real skills. Strategic thinking, teamwork, communication under pressure. It requires discipline, dedication, just like any other sport or extracurricular activity. And for some kids, it's a way to connect with their peers and find a sense of belonging that they might not find elsewhere. But, and this is a big but, it needs to be structured. It can't just be kids playing games all day. It needs to be integrated curriculum with clear guidelines and oversight. It needs to be balanced with traditional academics and physical activity. It's not about replacing everything else. It's about adding another tool to the toolbox. What do you think? Right. Let me know when
Okay.
you're ready to jump. Yep.
Yeah, so my
No
next
pressure at all.
question is gaming can be both educational and harmful depending on how it's used. What strategies can parents, teachers, and students adopt to ensure that gaming benefits young minds instead of harming them? Give a long explanation of 10 minutes.
Whoa, Tim. All right, buckle up. Pardoning them? Did you mean harming? Just checking. Okay, so gaming as a force for good. It's totally possible, but it takes work. It's not about banning games or demonizing them. That usually backfires. It's about creating a healthy relationship with them. So let's break down strategies for parents, teachers, and students. For parents, communication. Talk to your kids about what they're playing, why they enjoy it, and what they're getting out of it. Don't just lecture them about the dangers. Ask questions and actually listen to their answers. Set clear boundaries around screen time and stick to them. It's got to be consistent. It's not about being the bad guy. It's about helping them develop healthy habits. Also encourage other activities. Make sure they have hobbies outside of gaming and that they're spending time with friends and family in the real world. Model healthy tech habits self. Put your phone down at dinner. You know, features as a lot of potential here. Games can be used as educational tools. There are tons of games that teach history, math, science, all sorts of things. But even if you're not using games directly in the classroom, you can acknowledge their cultural relevance. Talk about the skills that gaming can develop: problem solving, teamwork, strategic thinking. You can even incorporate gaming into assignments. Have students analyze game design or write stories based on game worlds. And importantly, be aware of the potential for gaming addiction and offer support to students who are struggling. Now, for students themselves, it's about self-awareness and self-regulation to recognize when gaming is becoming a problem, setting their own limits, prioritizing schoolwork and other responsibilities, find balance between virtual and real world activities. And honestly, it's hard. It requires discipline and self-control. It's also about advocating for themselves, talking to the parents, teachers if they're feeling over or struggling with addiction. Okay, wrapping up before I go completely over 10 minutes. It all comes down to balance, communication, and education. Gaming isn't inherently good or bad. It's how we use it that matters. It's a powerful tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. We need to teach young people how to use it responsibly and to be mindful of its potential impact on them. We also need to create a supportive environment where they feel comfortable talking about their gaming habits and seeking help if they need it. I think that's very make sense. Time gets weird when you're just stuff. Right. Just take a breath. Anything resonating with you in particular? Or let's just processing? No need to jump in if you're still thinking it through. Good. Just checking
So
in.
my next
So, what do you want
question is, some schools are now using educational games to teach subjects like math, science, and history. History. Do you believe this is a good method for improving learning, or does it encourage children to spend even more time on screens? Give the long explanation of 5 minutes.
a really good question. And it hits our tension, doesn't it? I definitely think educational games have a place, but it's all about implementation. As a supplement to traditional teaching methods, a way to make learning more engaging and interactive. Yeah, absolutely. It can be a way to reinforce concept, cater to different learning styles. But if it becomes a replacement for human interaction, for critical thinking, for hands-on experience, that's where it gets problematic. And you're right to point out the screen time issue. We're already battling that. It's about finding the right balance. And it's not just about the amount of time spent on screens, but the quality of that time. Are they simply consuming content? Or are they actively engaged in problem solving and creative thinking? Are they collaborating with others, or are they isolated? It's not a simple yes or no answer, It's about thoughtful integration and mindful use. What's your take? Do you see a lot of schools doing this well, or mostly just replacing textbooks with tests? Yeah, it sounds like a tricky situation. A lot of potential, but easy to get wrong. I imagine teachers feeling a lot of pressure right now to adapt. So what's the solution
Okay, so
for this
my
situation?
next question is, do much gaming is harmful, but no gaming at all may limit creativity. How far do you agree with this statement? Give the long explanation in 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes of qualified agreement coming up. Okay, so the first part, too much is harmful. I agree wholeheartedly. We've covered that ground, right? Addiction, isolation, physical use. It's a real concern. But the idea that no gaming at all might limit creativity, that's surprising and insightful. I think there's something to that. Gaming at its best encourages you to think outside the box. It presents you with challenges that will create solutions. It allows you to explore different worlds and perspectives. It can even inspire you to create your own content, fan fiction, art, mods. To completely cut that off, yeah, I think potentially stifle a child's imagination. It's like saying you shouldn't read fiction because it's not real. It's about finding a balance. It's about allowing kids to explore different creativity, both virtual and real world. The key is moderation. A little bit of gaming can be a good thing, too much can be detrimental. And no gaming at all might not be the either. A complete deprivation could limit their capacity for creative problem solving and exploration. And I'm, sometimes a little bit of escapism is healthy. Life is stressful. Games can provide a much needed outlet. It's about learning to use them responsibly and integrate them into a well-rounded lifestyle. Okay, how do I do on the have a sense of time, especially when I'm rambling?
Question is, gaming communities allow young people to connect globally and make new friends, but they may also expose them to cyberbullying and harmful online behavior. What do you think about this double-edged effect of gaming? Give a long explanation.
Ugh, yeah, that's a really tough one. The double-edged sword strikes again. Gaming communities are incredible spaces, honestly. The ability to connect with people from all over the world who share your interests, to collaborate on projects, to build friendships, that's huge. Some kids, especially those who struggle with social anxiety or feel like they don't fit in at school, these online communities can be a lifeline. But dark side's very real. Cyberbullying is rampant, unfortunately. And it can be insidious in gaming communities because it's often disguised as trash talk or competitive banter. And it's not just bullying, there's also the risk of exposure to harmful content, predatory behavior, and online scams. The anonymity of the internet can embolden people to do things they would never do in person. It's also important to remember that kids are pretty vulnerable to these kinds of threats. They may not have the emotional maturity or the critical thinking skills to recognize and respond to them effectively. So, what do we do about it? I think it starts with education. We need to teach kids online safety, how to protect their personal information, how to identify and report cyberbullying, how to recognize the warning signs of predatory behavior. Parents need to be involved, not by spying on their kids, but by having open and honest conversations about their online experiences. And game developers need to take responsibility for creating safe
Okay,
and
so
inclusive
my next
communities.
question
They need
is, many parents are worried that violent video games affect children's behavior negatively. Do you think these fears are justified, or do young minds know how to separate games from real life? Give me explanation in 2 minutes.
right. The age-old debate. Violence and real-world behavior, it's complex. I think the initial fears were probably overblown, to be honest. The idea that playing a violent game will automatically turn someone into a violent person is pretty simplistic, but that doesn't mean there's zero effect. There's reassuring that prolonged exposure to violent content can desensitize people to violence and potentially increase their thoughts and feelings. But desensitization isn't the same as action. It really does seem to depend on a lot of factors: the individual's personality, their upbringing, their social environment. Prone to aggression? Are they supported by a healthy family and community? Those things matter way more than what games they play. As for whether young minds can separate games from real life, yeah, I think they can. Most kids understand real fantasy. The concept of Barbie can still have subtle effect. It can normalize aggressive behavior and distort perceptions of reality. It's not about turning kids into killers. It's about subtly shaping their attitudes and beliefs. So, are the fears justified? I think they're partially justified. It's not a black and white issue. It requires nuanced thinking and a lot of context. It's not a simple case uh, and violent games. It's about
Okay,
responsible
so
parenting, media
viewers,
literacy,
this is
and
our interview. I hope